The day they forgot. I'm telling you. Mom couldn't sleep last night, thinking about what happened yesterday. Maybe the aliens really are going to invade Earth, I said, half joking, trying to lighten the weight pressing on my chest. But Mum just gave me that frozen, questioning smile. Aren't you watching too many movies now? What are you talking about? Stop mixing movies with reality and go help your father in the farm. My mouth twitched. I could see she was trying to bury it, trying to pretend it never happened. Maybe we were all in shock. Maybe denial was easier. What do you mean by movies, ma'am? I'm talking about what happened yesterday, I said, my voice rising. I wasn't ready to let it go. She looked at me again, and this time I saw it deep, maternal worry etched into her face. Nothing out of the usual happened yesterday, dear. I stood at the edge of the kitchen table, eyes wide, hands trembling over a chipped teacup. You don't remember the siren, I whispered. The screams, the red sky. Mom blinked, confused. Sweetheart, maybe you had a nightmare. Yesterday was calm. You helped me harvest plums. Maybe you should go easy on the TV. I couldn't hold the cup anymore. It slipped from my fingers and shattered on the floor. I backed away, heart pounding. Why was she denying it so strongly? I knew what I'd seen, what we'd all seen. By the time we went to sleep last night, the scorch marks were still outside. The chapel steps were blackened. The fountain was stained. I remembered it all. I ran out, ignoring her voice, calling after me. Come and clean this up, young woman. I didn't look back. The streets were clean. No scorch marks. No blood. No signs of panic. Just winding paths. The smell of moss. And villagers going about their day like nothing had happened. I felt like the air had been sucked out of my lungs. I ran to Mira's house. We were together when it happened. She had to remember. Mira, I called, breathless. Remember yesterday? We were playing, and the sirens came from the sky. They were so loud. Your brother told us to cover our ears and stay down. Remember how we laughed about it later? She looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language. I really don't know what you're talking about, she said, laughing nervously. I felt dizzy. My head spun. You're lying. I know you're lying, I shouted, tears stinging my eyes. I ran to the farm, to Dad. He would remember. He had scooped me into his arms yesterday. Told me he was glad I was okay. He hadn't done that in years. He was scared. I knew it. Dad, I called, gasping for breath. He turned with a smile. What is it, Lina? What's got you running like that? My legs gave out. I collapsed into his arms. You saw it, right? You remember it. He looked puzzled. Saw what? The workers nearby turned to look. Some came closer, curious. The thing that fell in the middle of the town. The sirens. The sky, the screams. You carried me, Dad. You said you were glad I was okay. He blinked. Lina, I don't know what you're talking about. I stared at him, my heart breaking. One by one, they were all denying it, all forgetting. But I remembered, and that meant something. I wandered outside, heart pounding. That thing, whatever it was, had fallen right in the middle of town. I remembered the sirens, the screams, the red sky. But now, nothing. The streets were clean. No scorch marks on the chapel steps. No blood by the fountain. Just the same winding paths. The smell of moss, and villagers going about their business like yesterday had never happened. It felt like the air was sucked out of my lungs. I ran to Mira's house. We were together when it happened. She had to remember. Mira, I gasped. Remember yesterday? The sirens from the sky. Your brother told us to cover our ears and stay down. We laughed about it later. Remember? She blinked at me, confused. I really don't know what you're talking about. I felt dizzy. You're lying. I know you're lying, I shouted, panic rising. I ran to the farm, to Dad. He would remember. He had scooped me into his arms yesterday. Told me he was glad I was okay. He hadn't done that in years. Dad, I called, breathless. You saw it, right? You remember? He turned with a smile. What's got you running like that, Lina? I collapsed into his arms. The thing that fell from the sky. Dad, the sirens. The screams. Don't you remember? He looked at me, puzzled. Saw what, sweetheart? What are you blabbering about this early morning? Villagers nearby turned to listen. Mr. James frowned. What are you talking about, young Lina?
Miss Julie, the village doctor, sighed. Kids these days. They don't know the difference between dreams and reality. I stared at them, wide-eyed. They were all pretending. All denying it. My father gave me a firm look. Don't speak such things. It causes unease. I stepped back, trembling. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was stupid. I ran, wherever my legs would take me. By the time I stopped, I was at the edge of the farm, where children weren't allowed to go. I sat down, trying to clear my mind. Then I heard it. Whispers. Glowing shapes flickered between the trees. The air twisted unnaturally. Fear gripped me. My breath shortened. My heart raced. I felt like I was being watched, not by eyes, but by something deeper. Something ancient. I returned home. Apologized to Mom and Dad. Dad took me to the villagers to say sorry for causing worry. I apologized to Mira for calling her a liar. No one accepted what I'd seen. No one believed me. I had to accept that I was wrong. But deep inside, I knew I wasn't. That night, I opened my diary to write everything down. But the page for yesterday was blank. The desperate words I'd scribbled were gone. I tried to sleep, but sleep evaded me. As I drifted off, I heard whispers, words in a language I didn't know. I couldn't open my eyes. I was paralyzed with fear. I saw flickers of light. Then exhaustion took over, and I fell asleep. The next morning, I ate breakfast with my parents. "I'm off to the farm," Dad said, pulling on his boots. "Come help me when you're done." Mom looked at me with concern. "You all right, dear?" I smiled. Never felt better. She smiled back. "Your father and I were thinking of finding a physicist for you. But I'm glad you're okay." I couldn't believe it. They were going to get me a physicist, just because I remembered what they refused to. "Don't worry, Mom. I'm good," I said, standing. But my legs didn't take me to the farm. They took me back to the edge of the woods. To the whispers. And there they were. Glowing shapes moved between the trees. The air twisted like a living thing. I found a clearing we didn't know existed. At the center lay a massive structure. Half buried in the earth, pulsing with soft blue light. It wasn't made of stone or metal. Its surface shimmered like liquid glass. Strange symbols danced across its hull. It was a vessel. Something meant to fly. But broken. As I stepped closer, a panel slid open with a hiss.
3 beings emerged, tall, slender, with translucent skin that shimmered like starlight. Their eyes were deep pools of silver. They didn't speak with mouths, but I heard them clearly in my mind. "What are you doing here, human?" one asked. "This place is supposed to be forgotten. No one wanders here." I froze. "So, it's you. You took their memories." "They were real aliens." "What happened yesterday?" I asked, trembling. "Why can't anyone else remember? And what are you going to do to me?" The tallest one stepped forward. "Our vessel malfunctioned. We fell into your village. We had to erase the memory of our presence to protect our homeworld. Humans must not know we exist." "But why didn't it work on me?" I asked, more curious than afraid. The second alien tilted its head. "We do not know. Your mind resisted the memory wipe. Perhaps you are different. Who knows what you humans are capable of?" My heart pounded. I hadn't imagined it. I wasn't mad. This was real. They returned to their vessel, repairing it swiftly. I sat beside them, watching in awe as tools hovered midair, panels reformed with light. "We leave tonight," one said. "Our journey must continue." "Wait," I said, standing. "The people think I'm crazy. If you're leaving anyway, let me show them. Let me prove I'm not mad." The alien shrugged. "Fine." I ran through the village, knocking on doors, shouting for people to come. They gathered slowly, reluctantly muttering, glaring, accusing me of stirring trouble again. My mother's creased face said it all. She was scared for me, and my father. His expression gave off nothing, but I knew he was already thinking about which doctor to take me to first. "What do you think you're doing, Lina?" someone shouted. "I'm sorry, Mayor, but your girl needs help," another said. "I know. That's why my father began." But then, it happened. They all lifted their heads. The siren, a low, haunting hum, vibrated through the earth. It was the same sound I'd heard before. Deep, ancient, impossible to ignore. The vessel rose from the clearing, glowing brighter than the moon. It cast long shadows across the rooftops, hovering for a moment, like it was saying goodbye. Then, it shot into the sky, vanishing into the stars. Silence fell. No one moved. Then came the murmurs. Did you see that? What was that? Did you hear the sirens Lina was talking about? Oh my God. Something really happened. We just forgot. I'm sorry, Lina, someone whispered. We didn't believe you. You were right, said another. You remembered what we couldn't. Maybe you're special, someone added. That's why she's the mayor's daughter. They laughed, not mockingly, but with relief, with awe. Sorry, Lina, we can't remember, one said. But if you tell us what happened, maybe we could throw a party. You could remind us of what we forgot. My father smiled at me with a proud, quiet, finally understanding. And me, I stood in the center of the village, full not with pride, but with vindication. I had seen the truth. I had held it. And now, it was my story to tell. Drop a heart if you want more mysteries like this. Subscribe to support the channel. Comment your favorite part or your theory before the twist.